All right. Uh, Jordfäst is a black metal duo out of Skåne, Sweden, and Stoft is their second full-length album. Their style is, I mean, it's a band on Nodrvis Production, so you can assume that they are of a certain sort of naturalistic or paganistic black metal sort of bent. Though I would suggest that this band is a little bit different, uh, not only for its sort of the backgrounds of the members who have some affiliations with grindcore and those just a different perspective, I guess. But also just because their style it takes from a different generation than a lot of the earlier bands on the label might have, and so it's almost like the machine influencing itself in a way, and so that doesn't mean it's diminishing returns. What I think the interesting thing about this band is that they have these long conceptual songs that take up an entire side of the album each. And this is the second album where they've kind of stuck with this modus, and it works really well. It makes for um, an immersive experience where they've really got this sort of the main instrumentalist and I think music composer here is Elis Markskog, who is obviously a talent. You know, he can do just about everything, and he does it quite well on this record. And you know, if you're familiar with like Bird Flesh or any of the other stuff he's done, those things require a lot of precision and things that all this sort of music really benefits from. Just being kind of a tight player who can do whatever he needs to do. So in this case, that's part of why this is cool, but most of it is sort of the story that each song intends to tell, which is rooted in sort of a very severe realist and scientific perspective, um, in terms of seeing nature as this cold, uncaring thing that exists with both within us and with us as a part of its peripheral detritus. That's the way I see it. You can interpret that however you want. The more important thing is that these songs are sort of in what I would consider a ballad format, with relevance to epic black metal and folk metal traditions, with a bit of black thrash and some Norwegian and Swedish black metal, affecting sort of their attack and compositions. It isn't what I would consider progressive black metal. So, um, other than the themes just being very elaborate and the presentation being impressive. So, one song, for example, is about, well, I don't think I'll just necessarily detail that. You can read about it in the review. There, the themes are very fine and interesting, and the musicianship is very good. We can sort of get to the point because this is the kind of album where you're going to want to discover it for yourself. You're really going to want to sit down, take in the full length of the thing, and because it's a side per song, it really lends itself to sort of the vinyl format and um, really soaking into it and finding the hills and the valleys of each song. This is sort of the best part of what they do. Their first album was quite good, but it really hit its stride in the second half. This one is just sort of good throughout, and I think that's just a testament to them doing it, iterating, sort of giving a warmer sort of sound, a less. I wouldn't say the first album was more typical sounding, but this one is a little bit more organic in its sort of render, and it allows for elements like the drums to really shine rather than sit in the background. So uh, yeah, it is such an immersive experience for me to sit with a song that's half an album. I couldn't help but kind of appreciate it and become more of a fan. I think this is a better album than the first one. That's why I kind of wrote a full review rather than a short review like I did for the first one. And yeah, I don't really need to be too elaborate with my description. I think this really is the sort of record that I think people should discover for themselves if they're sort of inclined towards this type. of black metal. So go check it out for yourself. Read the review if you need more context. And there are some they put up partial clips or sections because each song has, you could probably divide them into acts to some degree. They've got samples of both songs to get an idea of just what the record sounds like. So check it out if you like.